This, my non-spoiler review of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, is a little more than 6 weeks in the making. Mostly because I saw this on Monday, September 9th, and today is Friday, October 25th. So my apologies there, I'm an excellent procrastinator. But this is for those of you who maybe have not seen this yet, and because it may be still in theaters, I'm not sure, but it will definitely be on streaming platforms shortly. I wonder if they ever make a third one, if it will be called Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. But I guess they couldn't, because then he couldn't come back. It's a little meta reference. If you have not seen Beetlejuice 1, definitely go do that. But this is my non-spoiler review of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, assuming that you have seen Beetlejuice #1 from 1988. So I gotta say, this is the most fun I've had in a movie in a long time. I did see Deadpool and Wolverine over the summer, which was so fun and exciting and wonderful in its own right. But outside of any sort of superhero genre, this was fantastic. I was smiling the entire time. I went with my dad too, because I think we saw it together. The first one in '88. So this was a really nice nostalgic thing to see a sequel that was 36 years in the making. And those 36 years were definitely worth the wait. I never stopped smiling, and I don't think my dad did either. I peeked over periodically. Returning from the original film, Michael Keaton, of course, who plays Beetlejuice, Winona Ryder, who plays Lydia Deetz, and Catherine O'Hara, who plays Delia Deetz. Yeah. Sometimes I get their names mixed up. Also returning, Tim Burton, the director, and Danny Elfman, the composer of the soundtrack, who, fun fact, was the founder, I think, of the 80s band Oingo Boingo. Great band, great music. Go find it on your music platform of choice, if you haven't heard any of their stuff. So they all fall back into their roles, excuse me, very well, both on camera and off camera, and musically, i.e. With Danny Elfman's input. Now they did come up with a very creative way to deal with Charles Dietz's absence from this movie, more specifically the actor who played him, Jeffrey Jones. Now if you Google Jeffrey Jones, you'll kind of see why, from a purely business and financial and box office standpoint, why they could not recast, or why they could not bring Jeffrey Jones back for this movie. And rather than recast, and perhaps not to drag down the plot of this movie and just keep the pacing good, they did deal with it rather quickly at the start. The newcomers to this Beetlejuice world include Jenna Ortega, who plays Lydia Deetz's daughter, the beautiful Monica Bellucci, who gives us a glimpse into Beetlejuice's distant past, and I have to say this in French, Justin Theroux, or perhaps better known to English-speaking audiences as Justin Theroux, who plays Lydia's quirky love interest, and also Willem Dafoe, who plays a police officer of sorts, let's say. So they all are wonderful additions to the Beetlejuice lore. Monica Bellucci's character kind of reminded me of almost like an evil Morticia Addams. And moreover, the scene in which Monica Bellucci's character first appears, and I can't say too much without spoiling it, but you'll definitely see inspiration from one certain Addams Family character in particular, aside from Morticia Addams, who I think was was a big influence, on the look of Monica Bellucci's character, whose name I have conveniently forgotten. So my apologies there, in the movie. The special effects are fantastic. I think I read that they were largely practical and not too much CGI, although I'm sure, as I recall, they did use it in creative ways at certain points, and you certainly need that. But it's nice to see practical effects to give a little more realism to the scenes. Danny Elfman, the creator of the soundtrack, finds exciting new ways to build upon his original Beetlejuice theme. So listen to that, sprinkled throughout the movie. They do take elements and plot scenarios from the first film and use them in creative ways here. And in refreshing ways, I must say. This is, well, I'll save this for potential mini spoilers at the end. So let me come back to this. There is one, again, I loved the whole movie. I was laughing the whole time. I can't wait to see it again. But there was one cameo in particular that I was not expecting. And as far as I know, that didn't really leak on social media. At least I didn't see it anywhere. And that will definitely bring a smile to your face, and I think you'll know what it is when you see it. This movie did quite well domestically in its opening weekend, made about $110 million. I think it's gone on to make quite a bit more since then. I think maybe somewhere in the $400 million range worldwide. So I think that's a return on the profit. I don't know what the budget was. So let me just get into mini spoiler territory. I know that I build this as a non-spoiler review, but these are just teeny tiny spoilers that aren't huge. But if you really don't want to know anything, in a moment you could turn down the volume, and then when I'm done talking about that, I'll just wave to the camera and tell you to turn up your volume again. So, slight spoilers here. My one gripe about the movie, I would say, is that they needed a more elaborate explanation on the Maitlands' absence from this. The Maitlands, of course, were the characters from Beetlejuice from 1988, the original one, played by Geena Davis and Alec Baldwin. Geena Davis stated in an interview that she couldn't come back to this movie because ghosts aren't supposed to get older, and she's acknowledged that, yes, she has aged. And I think for the same reason, not for the same reasons, obviously, but from legal standpoints and having trouble in the public eye, for the same reason that Jeffrey Jones was not included in this movie from a business standpoint, neither was Alec Baldwin. But I did think they needed a more elaborate explanation as to the Maitlands' absence from this movie. It was just sort of a little bit glossed over that, and I wish maybe they were afraid of slowing down the plot, but that would be my only gripe about this movie. And then a couple other things. I wonder what happened to the people, spoiler again, I wonder what happened to the people who got sucked into their cell phones during the wedding scene near the end of the movie. As far as I know, I never saw them get released from the phones. And then, as far as I could tell, it's never explained how Beetlejuice's head got unshrunken from the end of the first Beetlejuice movie. You know, maybe one of those plot details that wasn't considered important enough to explain in the movie. So that's it. All right. Turn up the volume if you turned it down for spoilers. So that's all I have on Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I loved it very much. I would give it, probably about a 9 out of 10. And I hope you get to see it soon if you haven't already, because it is a lot of fun. We could all use a good laugh in today's crazy world. So thank you very much for watching. Leave any commentaries you like below, good or bad. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Have a great day.